You guys will hear me say safety is the greatest feature. What happened? Welcome to another episode of Ask Dad. In this episode, I'm going to go ahead and change out an outlet. But there are a couple things. It's very easy to do if the power's turned off to either the outlet or the switch. You really can touch and play with the wires. But if you are cautious or nervous about it, please hire a licensed electrician handyman that knows what he's doing with electricity, because the last thing you want to do is hurt yourself, and you can die by touching a wire that's powered up and get shocked and get hurt very bad. But with proper techniques and turning the power off, it's a very simple fix. So let's jump right in. We're just getting it done with Ask Dad. Today we are going to be changing out this outlet. And it's in one of my hallways where we have a printer, and the top outlet does not work, it's broken. I want to jump in and kind of show you some stuff. And this is useful if you just want to change like this outlet that's broken, or if you have the old almond color style. It applies to light switches and to outlets. But I'm going to go ahead and change the one that's in our hallway. A couple of techniques or ways to test for electricity, and this is just a basic one with these two prongs. And so if they're made to clip in, and if you shove it in, you'll see that we have power. And I just show you this. It's a quick technique to do it. But the other technique, get a blow dryer, turn it on. You just need anything that would provide electricity once we flip the breakers to come back and check it to make sure there's no power. We will now go through some of the tools you will need. You are going to need a flat screwdriver to take out the screw that holds the cover plate on. I like using a cordless drill to take out the old outlet and put in the new outlet. And this one has a Phillips head screw. If you don't have a cordless drill to have a multi-tool, you can use the Phillips head on your multi-tool, but you're going to need the small flat head to take the cover off. And if you don't have one of these, you can just use two different screwdrivers, a flat screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. You need some way to test for power once you turn the breaker off, just because you want to make sure you're safe. Again, you can use a testing tool or any thing that you have that has a plug-in that you can just test when you come back in. You know, an old lamp, a fan, whatever it is. And then your new outlet. Alright, so I'm outside at our breaker box where we have all these breakers that I can flip off. And you have a few choices. Usually I just call someone in my house, have something plugged in, and that way I can, while we're on the phone, they'll tell me if something doesn't, if I click it on or off, it can stay off. And then I usually will label it. And so many times there's a bunch of labels inside the box that will tell you. And so I'm going to go ahead and call my son inside and start flipping breakers until he tells me that the printer is no longer on. I plug the printer back into the outlet, and so that's how I'm going to check. Now you can flip off individual breakers and walk back inside and check, and then there's also the master breaker, but if you flip it, you turn everything off in your house, the refrigerators, freezers, bedroom clocks. And I still may click off some of the bedroom clocks as we click one at a time to figure out which breaker turns off the power to that outlet. If you're changing a switch for a light, you just have the light on and someone in the room can tell you when the light goes off. And then the way you just check that is you go back in the room and click it and make sure the light doesn't come on. You need to make sure the light bulbs are good so that you know you don't have power. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this and go back inside. We've turned the power off and I just want to check it, and the blow dryer does not work. So I'm going to trust that it's I don't have power. Let's go ahead and take this off. We're going to first take out this middle screw and remove the outlet cover. And then this is where I'm using my cordless drill, because these are Phillips screws. And It's just much faster than by hand. And you can see something shocked or melted this whole outlet. So it just, don't know why, but that's why we're changing this one out. The next step is just removing the wires. And here, I just like to use my regular screwdriver. And so here's the plain copper wire, and then you'll see we have white and black. So I'll get all these removed and pull this outlet out. So you'll see that we have the white wires, the black wires, and then our ground that goes on the green screw. And so the screws that are silver in color are going to get the white wires. The screws that are brass in color are going to get the black wires. And there are a couple of things that, if you can see, there's holes here. You can actually put the two white wires in those holes, and you don't need to tighten them with the screws. And then on the brass side, there's those two holes that we can just slip the wires in. And so I don't know if you can see this, but just slipping it in, that one's done. And so I'm going to go ahead and put all these in and then tighten down all the screws and get the ground wire connected to the green screw. Putting in the second white wire, and then on this side there's those holes. I'm going to get the black wires in. And then the last step is just getting this in. And so now I'm going to use my cordless drill. You can see that's how long it took, just a couple minutes. I try to center it or make it so it looks like it's straight up and down, because sometimes outlets or outlet covers are a little cockeyed. And I'm going to go flip the power back on, and then we'll come back in and check it, see if we have power. We have the power turned on, and so, you know, we have a couple of ways to check to make sure both outlets work. That bottom one does with that, or like I said, that works. And so we've changed out this old crudted one, and I don't know why it's burnt, but the top one hasn't worked since we lived here, and now we have the new outlet in. And then as the last step, it's just putting on the new outlet cover. As I've been upgrading outlets and switches in our house, I've been replacing them all with the square or rectangle style. I feel like they're just a little more modern looking. And so, and an outlet's a little over $1, and these outlet covers are a little less than $1. So it might be like a $2 fix. And there you go. We have a new outlet in, and both outlets work. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ask Dad. Changing outlets and switches is not a hard thing, and actually very easy, and simple tools are required. But I will just restate that if at all you're apprehensive about it, please hire a licensed electrician or handyman that knows what they're doing with electricity. And if you have any comments, put them in the comments below. I'll do the best I can to answer them with video, and we're just getting it done with Ask Dad.